A Lesson in Love by O.Henry. Joe and Delia were students. They both loved art. They both lived for art. Joe had always loved painting pictures. At the age of 20, he had left his family's home in Kansas and he had come to New York City. He had very little money, but he was very ambitious. One day I'll be a famous artist, he always said. Delia had always loved playing the piano. She had left her family's home in Missouri and she too had come to New York. Her family had given her some money. She was very ambitious too. One day I'll be a famous pianist, she always said. I'll play the piano at concerts. In New York, Joe and Delia met other art students and music students. And very soon, Joe and Delia met each other. They fell in love and they got married. After their marriage, Joe and Delia lived in a studio apartment. It was a small, cheap apartment in lower Manhattan. They both worked hard every day. Joe was having painting lessons from the famous painter Mr. Magister. Delia was having piano lessons from the famous pianist Mr. Rosenstock. Joe and Delia were poor, but they were happy. Some people will do anything for art. Joe and Delia had their art and they had each other. Life was wonderful. Every morning, Joe and Delia had their breakfast together. Then they went happily to their lessons. Every evening, they had supper in their apartment and they talked about their plans. Soon people will buy my pictures, said Joe. Soon people will come to my concerts, said Delia. But after a few months, art was not enough. Joe and Delia were very poor. Lessons from Mr. Magister and Mr. Rosenstock were very expensive. I'm not going to have any more piano lessons, Joe dear, Delia told her husband one evening. I'm going to teach music. Artists have to eat. 3 evenings later, Delia came home with a smile on her face. Joe dear, I'm going to teach a music student, she said. Her name is Clementina. She is 18 years old and she lives on 71st Street. Her father is General A.B. Pinckney. Clementina is very sweet, Delia said, but she's not very strong. The general wants me to give her 3 lessons a week, and he's going to pay me $5 a lesson. Yes, soon I will go back to Mr. Rosenstock. Delia looked at her husband's face. Joe was not happy about her news. Please don't be angry, Joe, she said. Let's have a nice supper. Joe opened a can of peas. You're going to teach a student, he said sadly, and I will stop going to Mr. Magister, Delia. I will sell newspapers and I'll earn a few dollars. Delia put her arms around her husband's neck. Joe dear, don't be foolish, she said. You mustn't leave Mr. Magister. We can live very well on $15 a week. Joe put the peas into a dish. All right, you are a dear girl, he said to his wife, but I don't like it. Teaching isn't art. I will teach for the love of art, Delia replied. We'll do anything for the love of art. After a moment, Joe spoke. Mr. Magister liked the sky in my painting of Central Park, he said, and he showed 2 of my pictures to an art dealer, Mr. Tinkle. Mr. Tinkle is going to put my pictures in a shop window. Soon somebody will buy one of them. Yes, somebody will buy one, said Delia sweetly. Thank you, General Pinckney, and thank you too, Mr. Tinkle. We will live for art. And now let's eat these nice peas and drink a cup of tea. The next week, Joe painted in Central Park every day. Every day he and Delia ate their breakfast early. Then Delia kissed him and said goodbye to him. At 7 o'clock in the morning, he left the apartment. He did not come back until 7 o'clock in the evening. Some people will do anything for the love of art. On Saturday evening, Joe arrived home first. Delia soon arrived after him. She put $15 on the dining table in the small apartment. She was tired, but she was proud. Clementina doesn't work hard enough, she said to Joe. I have to tell her the same things at every lesson. But she's very sweet. And General Pinckney is a dear old man. He comes into the music room sometimes and he listens to us. Then Joe took $18 from his pocket. He put the money next to Delia's money on the table. I sold a painting to a man from Peoria, he said. You sold a painting, said Delia, to a man from Peoria, Illinois? That's wonderful, Joe. That's right, Delia, Joe replied. A fat man from Peoria, Illinois bought a painting. He saw it in Mr. Tinkle's window and he bought it. Now he wants another of my painting too. Soon you won't have to teach music anymore. We will live for art again. Oh, Joe, said Delia, one day you'll be famous, and tonight we have got $33. What shall we eat for supper? I'll go to the stores. We'll have the best beef, said Joe, and a bottle of wine. The next Saturday evening, Joe arrived home first again. He was very tired. His hands were dirty and black. He washed them quickly. Then he put $18 on the table. A moment later, Delia arrived at the apartment. There was a bandage on her right hand. What's happened to you, Delia? Asked Joe. Have you hurt your hand? Delia tried to laugh. Clementina wasn't well today, she said. She spilled some hot tea on my hand. The dear girl was very sorry, and General Pinkney sent a servant to a drugstore for some bandages. My hand hurt terribly at first, Joe, but it doesn't hurt much now. Joe held her hand gently. What's this? He asked. He was looking at a piece of white cloth under the bandage. It's a piece of soft cloth with oil on it, said Delia. Then she saw the $18 on the table. Oh, Joe, did you sell another picture? She asked. Yes, the fat man from Peoria bought his second painting today, Joe said, and he wants two more. But when did you burn your hand, Delia? At 5 o'clock this afternoon, Delia replied. The tea. Sit down, Delia, said Joe. He put his arm round his wife's shoulders. What have you been doing for the last 2 weeks? He asked. For a moment or two, Delia talked about General Pinkney and Clementina. But then she started to cry. Oh, Joe, she said, there is no General Pinkney. There is no Clementina. I couldn't get any students. But I didn't want you to stop your lessons with Mr. Magister. I got a job in that big laundry on 24th Street. I iron shirts there. But this afternoon, one of the girls dropped a hot iron on my hand. She looked up at her husband. Don't be angry with me, she said. Kiss me, Joe. How clever you are. How did you guess about General Pinkney? I didn't guess until tonight, said Joe. Then I saw the piece of cloth on your hand under the bandage. I saw the cloth with oil on it. I sent that piece of cloth up from the boiler room this afternoon. I sent it for one of the girls upstairs. I have worked in the boiler room of that laundry for 2 weeks. I put coal into the boilers. You didn't sell any pictures? Asked Delia. No, Joe replied sadly. There is no fat man from Peoria. Suddenly they both laughed. Oh, Delia, Joe said, 2 weeks ago you told me we'll do anything for the love of art. Do you remember? Delia put her hand on her husband's lips. Yes, but I was wrong, Joe, she said. We'll do anything for love.